Openly expressive truth, sharing all that we've been through.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Openly Expressive. I'm your host, Naisha. Today is December 26, 2024. So to my loyal listeners, I thank you for returning. I am back in full effect. And for my newbies, I thank you for joining me. And hopefully you continue to be on the ride with me. It's a bumpy one at times, but I'm trying to navigate it to be, as smooth as possible for me. So life has been lifing for me as well as I am sure it has been lifing for you, hence why you are tuned in, honey. What's been going on in my world? I have been on my healing journey and I still am, my self-love journey, and I just continue to progress in all avenues of life, as you should too. So you guys know about my past and my love life and, the people who were involved in those situations in my life, my stresses, my pains, my worries, feeling hopeless at times. Sometimes we get involved with people who are not meant to be in our lives. And I feel that it's a trauma bond because oftentimes we mingle with folks because we have a commonality. And sometimes that commonality is not a positive one. It can be a commonality of childhood trauma, past abuse from a loved one, or just anything that ties you to someone that is not a positive tie. So I've realized through my journey of healing, I have attached myself to toxic people. And I had to have an epiphany and say, well, why are you tying yourself to these type of individuals? Ultimately, the answer was, you're toxic too. And it's kind of hard to come to terms with your toxicity because let's face it, guys, no one wants to be labeled as toxic. No one wants to accept the fact that they have anything wrong with them. But the only way that you can change and grow and, elevate in life in all ways, you must come to terms with your faults and your flaws. And in order to better yourself, you have to recognize what they are, and you have to put a plan into action on how you are going to fix those problems. We look for love, we look for validation, we look for all of the things that we hadn't received as children. We look for that in our mates. And then sometimes we gravitate towards mates who heighten the things that we were missing as children because it's a familiar place. It's a common place to dwell in toxicity for many of us because as children we were either neglected, abandoned, or just simply not loved properly. So when we seek mates, we find that familiar place in those people because that's what we're used to. We are used to not being loved in a healthy manner. We are used to being combative. We are used to being cussed out raggedy from our mom or our dad, or we are used to coming from single parent households. So what we do is we gravitate towards mates and we procreate and we become single parents because why? We chose the wrong mate. A lot of us get involved with relationships and people, whether personal or interpersonal, because it's a familiar place. If you are not on your healing journey, if you are not ready to accept and acknowledge that you need to heal, you will continue to accept the bare minimum. You will continue to attract the bottom feeders. And I was in love with a man who was not in love with me back. And quite frankly, everyone that I have dated, even down to my marriages, these people were not for me. And although we might have seen things in each other that made us comfortable or made us feel that we were In a state of love, it was not. Because guess what, my friends? Love does not hurt. Love does not neglect. Love does not abandon. Love does not make you feel like shit. There is no reason why you should be in a relationship or friendship or any type of relations with anyone who makes you feel unloved, devalued, less than, inadequate, doubting your self-worth, questioning your overall existence here in life. Like, why the hell am I here if I'm just gonna keep being freaking screwed over with a spike bat and no grease? Because that's how effed up sometimes when you love someone, the wrong person makes you feel like you are being screwed over with a spike bat, no grease, and no regard afterwards of the wounds that they have constantly inflicted upon you. And guess what? We need to take accountability because we are inflicting those same wounds upon ourselves. Why? Because we are allowing the bullshit. Why do we allow the bullshit? Because that's what we are used to. You can love someone wholeheartedly. You can give them 100% of you. And then you have to have a reality check and be like, if I'm giving them 100% of me, what the hell am I having for myself? I'm pouring into your cup. I'm overflowing your cup with the stuff that I had in mind. And guess what? Now I am empty, honey. We are constantly pouring and overflowing into others' cups while we are taking from what is inside of our own cup and dehydrating ourselves while we are replenishing others. Stop giving pieces of you to pieces of shit. That's like if you have a house and brick by brick, you are building the house. But every time someone else enters your life, you give them a brick. You give them a brick. You give them a brick. Your foundation will never be stable because you keep giving your foundation to others. Rebuild you first. And when you are fully rebuilt, then you can start to find bricks to help build someone else up. We seek validation from people. We seek love from people. We seek just feeling whole from someone. We give our everything, our time, our dedication, our love, sometimes our loyalty. We try our best to be loyal to people until we feel that they are not loyal to us. And then, we move accordingly. We might cheat or stray or whatever to prove a point to them as being like, listen, don't get it twisted. Don't think because I'm head over heels for you, honey, that I can't get another. I'm just smitten by you. Let's make that very clear. And a lot of the times people take the love that you have for them and they run with it. Oh my gosh. And they trample all over your heart, it feels like. Some people aren't used to love. Some people are allergic to it. You get close to them, you start loving them, honey, they start disrespecting you. It's like everything you do for them that's positive, they do the opposite end of the spectrum. So you love them, they start administering hate. You treat them kindly, they start being disrespectful. You start giving them time, they start pulling away. You give them attention, you get nulled and void. And it's just like, so you're toxic and I'm toxic and we're trying to come together and make an untoxic relationship. How the hell is that possible? Because toxic plus toxic is going to be an explosive situation. I've come to terms with you cannot be you cannot be on your healing journey with someone who doesn't acknowledge that there is a problem within themselves. I don't care how many times you point out their faults, their flaws, and their mishaps. They will not come to terms with their needing to be changed in their lives and your relationships if they had not grasped the concept that there is an issue within themselves. We constantly try to beat someone in the head with a club, some sense into it, love into it, respect into it, But how foolish can we be? Because 9 times out of 10, the people that we gravitate towards that are toxic as hell, they don't have that within themselves. People walk around here boasting and having their chest out and wearing the finest clothing and having the jewelry and the cars and the this and the that. Because guess what? It's a facade. It's a mask. It's masking your fuck ups. Because material things cannot take away the fact that you are a horrible ass person. Material things cannot take away the fact that you are hurt inside. Material things cannot take away the fact you need help. You were not loved properly. Who am I to even think that a person like you, who is incapable of loving someone in a healthy manner, will love me that way? You can't even do it for yourself. How the hell am I seeking someone to love me the way that I need to be loved when they have no idea how to do it for themselves? A relationship solely based off of a physical attraction, it's doomed. So let's get into that. I was with this person for 4 years, and y'all heard me speak about this man time and time again throughout this podcast. If you hadn't connected the dots, it was about this man. I love this man with all of my being, honey, since I was 19. I am about to be 44 next month. And throughout the duration of us knowing each other 20 something years, and it's just like, it was a physical attraction on his behalf. Because on my behalf, I love this man. I dreamt of marrying this man and having a successful relationship and family and kids and, a house with the picket fence and all of that, vacations and all of that stuff. I got nothing but fucked. Literally and figuratively, honey. I'd get the bare minimum, flowers and trinkets here and there, which were cute and thoughtful, but it was like, it was never enough, because you're not trying to do the things that will progress this relationship to the highest of height that it could be. We're not going out on dates. We're not doing anything. We're just freaking couch potatoes, watching movies, playing video games or whatever it is, which was cute and quality time, because that's what you need in your mate. But damn, you don't want more? Don't we all want that happily ever after? Why are you not willing to obtain that? And sometimes we get people, or sometimes we deal with people who don't see the bigger picture, don't want the bigger picture. Some people just want who they want for the moment. Some people just want to do what they want to do just to let time pass by. Some people don't have your best interest at heart, and we need to come to realization with that. Come to terms with the fact you are not everybody's cup of tea, honey. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how good your sex is. I don't care how financially stable you are. I don't care what accolades you've achieved in life. If this person is not that into you, move the fuck on. Move the fuck on. I have been a fool. I have been played. I have been neglected. I have been mistreated. I have been physically and mentally abused. Not the type of physical abuse that some people go through, but shit. Abuse is abuse, But regardless of how I can handle myself with these fisticuffs or not, abuse is abuse, and it's not excused. But I'm hurt right now. I'm not as hurt as I would have been the other times, or I'm not hurt as I was the countless times that this person has betrayed me, left me, and didn't care about my well-being and, things like that. I'm not as hurt as I was in the past, because I have become so accustomed to this person playing games with my mind, with my heart, with my love, with my time, with my devotion. I have become so numb to that because this person has taken advantage of me for far too long. I'm telling you, I love this man more than I have ever loved any man walking this earth. And I have been in some relationships. I've been in countless relationships. All were freaking toxic except one. And I let him go because I was not used to a healthy relationship. And we do that a lot of the times. We miss out on the prize because we are used to getting the fucking shit, the shitty end of the stick. We are only used to getting the bare minimum. Not saying that I'm used to getting the bare minimum, honey, because I used to get a lot of shit from men. I used to get the time, the gifts, the things that we think that we want. But guess what? What was missing? The love, the dedication, the respect, the loyalty, the honesty, the being courteous, the consideration. I wasn't getting that. Like I said, that one healthy relationship I had, I was getting that, but he lacked in certain areas. He started picking up the traits of the person who I was with previous to him. And it's like, hey, my man, I'm not about to repeat the cycle. I left that person because of their actions. You're starting to do the same thing. I gotta head out. So shout out to me for actually acknowledging the fact of seeing red flags and heading the fuck out. But this person that I talked about throughout this duration of this podcast, my friends, this person who I was so head over heels for, this older gentleman. I'm not even gonna say gentleman because he was never gentle with me. But this older male, I actually loved him wholeheartedly, honey. He's listened to my podcast before, and if he's listening now, I loved you wholeheartedly, honey. I really did. I tried my best, and clearly my best was never good enough for you. And I'm just done trying to make people see that my best is what's good for people. Like, I don't mean people any ill intent. I don't mean to hurt people. My intentions is not to ever make people feel like shit, feel less than, feel inadequate, feel unloved, feel ugly, feel unimportant. That's never my intention. My intention to be with someone, whether it's interpersonal or personal, is to love them, is to teach them, is to guide them, is to make them happy. That's my ultimate goal with everyone on this earth that I've ever come in contact with, whether it's a mere conversation or whether it's a long-term relationship. That's always been my beginning and end goal with these people that I have encountered and let into my life time and time again. And they were not used to that. My mom used to tell me, you're doing too much. You're acting like a wife when you're just a girlfriend. You know that whole saying. But it's like, damn, if that's your personality, why do you have to diminish your personality to meet these bare minimum ass people where they are? I'm trying to love you the way that I want to be loved. I'm trying to lead by example, but it was never enough for these individuals I have let into my life time and time again. I am absolutely tired of giving me to someone who isn't willing to give them to me. I am tired of that. I feel so beat down and defeated in love, and sometimes being with that person and other people, I felt defeated in life to the point I wanted to end it. Not because that person wasn't doing me right. It was just the overall fact that my life was so shitty. So we have to stop living in the past wounds that people have inflicted upon us. Because in our adult lives, we are leading it to hell. Because we are still operating off of that pain from childhood traumas. So this person has ping-ponged with my love for them for 20 years, honey. And when I finally... So 20 years ago, it was just like a fling, here and there. He was doing him, I was doing me, or whatever. So when we finally came to an agreement that we would be in a relationship, a quote unquote real relationship 4 years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this man. I was always crushing over this man. Now he's finally mine. He was never mine. Never mind. I'm finally coming to terms with that. It doesn't feel good, but I am finally coming to terms with that. This man called me over his house the day before Christmas. He called, we spoke or whatever, we chatted after not really chatting or whatever, after he dumped me again, and my dumb ass just kept taking him back. Wanted to see me in person. I didn't want to see him in person because, listen, you already chucked up the deuces. Basically, you're playing with my emotions. You're contacting me, you're not contacting me, you're being distant, you're trying to be acknowledged. I don't know what it is, but that whole in and out my life, that's some bullshit. You're playing with me. So I wasn't comfortable with meeting him in person, but I actually was like, okay, let's go, because I did miss him and I wanted to see him. So, and then in hopes of, well, maybe we see each other and rekindle whatever the hell he think is broken or whatever. And it didn't go like that. He broke it off again in person. And I'm saying to myself, like, why the fuck do you keep playing with me? Because you already did this a few weeks ago. I came to terms with that. I was mentally okay this time because you've done it countless times. I've come to terms with that's the type of person that you are. You are afraid of commitment. Because out of all the other relationship that you have had, which was shitty, and the demise was possibly because you admitted that you were cheating. You cheated on me, so I cheated back. But then we came to a common ground that we wasn't going to do it again, and we was going to work on us. And all of a sudden, a monkey wrench who should not be in the picture fully as they are is back in the picture. And you just tossed me back to the curb, honey. Like, you were the place filler. You were the seat holder. This person who I really probably want to be with is back. Thank you for your services. You can go. So I feel completely used, honey. Because I've done things and I've been a part of this person's life as well as their offspring's life because I wanted to, because I cared for them, because I actually developed love for his offspring and I actually loved him. So I'm playing a role that I shouldn't be playing for the offspring because I didn't mind to do it because, hey, that's my man and that's his offspring and I love them both. Guess what? Sometimes your love is not good enough for the person if they don't want it, if they are not ready for it, if you are not the person that they solely want to be with, if they are not healed, if they don't recognize that they need to be healed, if they truly don't give a damn about you, and if it's solely based off of lust. So going back to that. If your relationship is merely physical, just accept that's all it's going to be. Don't expect this person to be emotionally attached to you. Some people are incapable of that. Some people are incapable of receiving healthy love. It's foreign to them. They're used to the toxicity. There was times that we were okay and he would pull back. There were times when everything was smooth. He was sweet. He was generous. He was kind. He was giving. He was everything that I wanted him to be except the dates. I never got dates. And my dumb ass settled. I would make excuses. Well, it's fine. And, we're not going out on dates because I'm feeling a bit insecure about myself. I don't want to be seen in public, blah, blah, blah. It was a cop-out. It was a way of me excusing his lackluster behavior because I was willing to do any and everything for this man to have him in my life. And that says a lot about me on my healing journey. You were scorned from your daddy issues. You were abandoned by your father, so you were going to gravitate towards men who will ultimately abandon you. You were neglected by your parents. You will ultimately gravitate towards someone who will neglect you because, as I said earlier, it is a familiar place. Some of us are content with living in the land of toxicity because that is the only place we have ever dwelled. We've only dwelled in the land of toxicity. So to try to navigate into a healthy world, that's foreign for us. We don't know. You cannot give what you have never had. So many of us have not had love in a healthy manner, although we all seek it. Because who wants to be loved in an unhealthy manner? That shit don't feel good. But of course, that's what we involve ourselves in because that is all we know. And until you actually get tired of hurting from someone inflicting pain upon you, you will continuously get people in your lives who will screw you over time and time again. It doesn't feel good, but it's all you know. We have to surround ourselves with like-minded individuals, which means if you want to heal, surround yourself with a person who wants to heal as well. If you acknowledge your faults and your flaws, gravitate towards people who acknowledges the same things in them. If you have a person in your life who is willing to go on that healing journey with you, don't shun them. Work together on healing. Ask people, hey, what do you think that I need to work on to make me better? And see what their answer is. See what their response is. And you can take that into, consideration. And if you agree with that, work on it. We are all a work in progress. But some people just don't want to do the work. And it's just like, don't you know that you need to heal? Because quite frankly, a lot of us, if not all of us, are scorned from something that has happened to us in our childhood. And we operate off that hurt and pain as adults. And we just don't know how to navigate in a healthy manner. But I just hate the fact that, when there's someone loving on you and loving you, you're just shunning it because it feels uncomfortable to you. Don't you want to be loved? It's not many people on this earth that will love you in a healthy manner. And if you get someone that you know for a fact loves you with all of their being, why would you throw that away? It's foolish on your behalf to throw someone away, to forfeit love, when it's very evident that this person loves the hell out of you. They're trying to literally love the hell out of you because all of that damage that you're inflicting upon others and yourself, that is hellish. Nothing about how you are operating is operating on a higher frequency. Nothing. It is hellish and hellbound by your sins. So when you get a person in your life who is loving you through the thick and the thin, you throw it away? That is foolish, my friend. That is very foolish. My word of advice is never love someone more than they love you. Never love someone more than you love yourself. Self-love is the best love. And that sounds like a cliche or a freaking quote that you should put on a shirt, which I am going to. Openly Expressive merch available on Amazon and openlyexpressivemerch.com. But, it's a fact. Self-love is the best love. If you don't have love for self, how the hell are you going to love somebody else properly? And a lot of the times, how we move in relationships and things, we think that we're loving someone. You're not loving them, because if it hurts, that's not love, my friend. Love doesn't hurt. Love is kind. Love is gentle. Love is considerate. Love is passionate. Love is thoughtful. Love is sometimes, putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. I don't mean to be uncomfortable to where it makes you feel bad. I just mean when you're used to operating in a certain manner, which is not healthy. If you fix that and turn it around to make the situation better for someone else and for both of your relationships. Now, I must admit that sometimes, turning over a new leaf and entertaining the fact that you need to only attract healthy people in your life, that might be scary because that is an unfamiliar place of only attracting healthy people in your lives, because you know we haven't always been given an example of healthy loves when we were children. So we haven't seen our parents in a healthy relationship. So that's what we seek, unhealthy relationships. And it's not that we're saying, I want to be in an unhealthy relationship because I know that's good. No, it's just that's all we know. So when that's all you know, that's what you're going to get. But I'm just at a point in my life where if you don't want what's best for me and if you don't want what's best for you, stay the hell away from me. I'm no longer going to want to accept someone in my life who really doesn't want to be there. I'm no longer going to be a convenience for someone. I'm no longer going to be a place filler for someone. I'm no longer going to be a, comforter for someone when they are incapable of comforting me. I am no longer going to accept the bare minimum. And what the bare minimum is when someone just does or say certain things for you and to you just to keep you at bay. Just to keep you quote unquote satisfied for the moment, just for you to shut the hell up, because when you try to express what you truly need from them and for your relationship to progress, that's considered nagging to them. So they just breadcrumb you and give you the bare minimum so you can just shut up. They don't want to hear that you want change, that you want to elevate in all aspects of life and relationships, love, success. They don't want to hear that because they are not ready to do so. And we be dealing with grown ass adults who quite possibly be older than us sometimes. And it's just like, I feel like at a certain point in life, people are going to be who they are. You can't change someone. They can only want to change themselves. And at a certain age in life, some people are settled in their ways and they will never change. And if they do exude some type of change, it's only momentarily. Some people just exhibit change for the time being, like I said, to shut you the hell up. It's not a permanent change. Some people just don't want to. Or some people are just completely oblivious to the fact that they need to change. And I am done trying to make someone see that they need to change. You are either change when you enter my life or you can go. Or I am no longer going to open the door to toxicity. I can't do that. I don't want to see the red flags and be blind-eyed to it and be like, it's not red, it's burgundy, it's fuchsia. No, it is red. A red flag is a red flag. Be aware of it when it comes your way. And sometimes you just close your eyes and you become blind to the red flags because you really want to build with a person. But you can't build with a person who doesn't want to build with you. Sometimes you just have to face the fact that you are not for everybody and everybody is not for you. I don't care what type of attraction it is that is bonding you to this person. Sometimes you need to just come to the realization that they are not for you. And it's okay. It's okay to be alone. I think I've been alone one time when I was in my early 20s after dating a crazy ass person who eventually ended up on America's Most Wanted. He tried to kill me many years ago, I might add. What? Glad I dodged that. But I tend to have an effect on people, and not just men that I've dated, people period, because I've even had quote unquote friends who I am no longer friends with, and if we reunited somehow, they'll be like, you was the best friend I ever had. Or even in relationships, you were the best one I ever had. Or you're different, or you're this, you're that. They've pointed out all of my great qualities. But at certain points, I'm just like, you see that now? You see that now that I'm not in your life or giving you all that I have and I was giving you before, you see it now that I'm not there, and it was always there. You just were blind to it. And you know how that saying is, you don't miss the water until the well runs dry. So now that the well is dry, now you see my great qualities. It was always there. And it would have been, accentuated if you treated me properly. And when you realize or you get the inkling and the feeling from someone that they make you feel like you are a problem, exit their lives. Don't stick around longer than you need to stick around. Do not wear out your welcome. You're only hurting yourself and you're making yourself look like a damn fool. We stick around, honey, in hopes of. Listen, if you don't see the progression in the beginning stages of a relationship with someone, it'll only get worse. And the longer that you accept the bare minimum, the longer that you accept the breadcrumbs, the longer that you accept the disrespect, the longer that you accept their shortcomings and everything else that they come with that is not good, you're going to continue to receive that, because in their minds they're saying, okay, I can do X, Y, and Z and they'll stay. I don't have to do everything that they require because I've already exhibited the fact that I'm only going to give them a certain piece. I'm only going to give them a piece of me. And they've already shown that they'll stay. I've already shown them that I will never be the man or the woman that they need me to be. And they've stayed. So why should I change? Now, if somebody really wants you to be in their life, they'll do everything possible to be there. They'll do everything possible to fix what's broken. Okay, you feel neglected. Let me make you a priority. Okay, you feel unloved. Let me love on you. Okay, you feel that I am not reassuring you. Let me give you some reassurance. And a lot of the times people think that when you need reassurance, you're insecure. No, just reassure me that my spot in your life is solidified, and reassure me that I am a priority to you and not an option. It does not feel good to be an option in someone's life, especially when you are prioritizing them. Treat people how you want to be treated. That should be the ultimate goal in all relationships. Treat people how you want to be treated. You want to be loved, love them. You want to be respected, respect them. You want to be cherished, cherish them. But many people don't know how to do so. And it's so crazy how childhood traumas can really fuck you up. But me being an Aquarius, I love so hard and I love so fast. And I realize you have to stop doing that. And I also detach very quickly too. But for some reason with this man, honey, I was not detaching when I needed to. I did not exit stage left. I sat there waiting for the happily ever after. It never came. And that's my fault because, I stuck around. I stuck around for the foolery. I was attracted to him in every which way. And in my eyes, although he was doing wrong, in my eyes, I didn't see it as other people saw it. Or I was just in denial. I still love him. And low-key, I still wish we are able to have a happily ever after, but he's made it very apparent time and time again that is not what he wants, or that is not what he wants with me. And we have to come to terms with everybody that you want is not meant to be in your life. And I don't have regrets about anything or anyone. Everyone and everything is a lesson. You either learn from it or you just continue to be a fool. I don't want to be a fool anymore. Being a fool hurts. Being a fool makes you feel diminished in value. Being a fool, it messes up your physical appearance. You start gaining weight or you start losing weight because you're not eating. You start losing sleep, which gives you bags under your eyes, which can also lead to heart problems, God forbid. You start stressing. You start, breaking out from the stress. You become depressed. You feel lonely. You start having suicidal thoughts sometimes. You feel worthless. There's no hope in your life, it feels like, because you are damaged. But guess what? There is no damage on this earth that you cannot repair. It just starts with self-reflection, self-love, and knowing your worth, honey. Never, ever be with someone that makes you feel less than. Some people we are a prize to, and some people we are a problem to. I'm just fed up with BS. Every new year, I become stronger. I'm getting closer to God. I'm getting closer to living in my purpose. I've asked God and Jesus many times to show me my purpose. And I told you guys before, that's when I came out with this podcast. I think it was about 4 years ago. So I realized my purpose is to convey messages. I'm turning my pain into paychecks, and I'm also turning my pain into healing for others. There is no pain that you can go through that God cannot deliver you from. And until we put God in the forefront of our lives, you won't have a successful life. Successful relationships or encounters with people. You won't have success overall because He is Alpha and Omega. And I realize I have put this man in front of the ultimate man, which is God, many times because of the stuff that I put up with, the things that I've entertained, the actions that I have administered, just trying to be loved by a man on earth. When in actuality, we just need to be seeking the love from the man upstairs, which he gives us on a daily basis, but we take for granted because we are so caught up into the worldly experiences of physical beings on earth. Where does that lead us? That just leads us to our demise. I'm tired of leading myself into my demise because I'll no longer place blame on anyone else, because ultimately it was my decision to entertain the wrong beings. And although my decision to entertain those wrong beings stemmed from my childhood trauma, me being an adult now, I have to take accountability of that. I was choosing the wrong mates because I wanted to be loved. And although many people think that they are loving you, it's not love. It's just an attachment. So we must learn to detach from people and things that are not meant to be attached to our lives. Sometimes you are in relationships or go through experiences to bring you closer to God, to bring you closer to your healing, to make you have that epiphany that you need to change. So don't ever look at anything as a regret. Look at all things. It was just meant to happen. Because if you live off regret, you'll be miserable. You'll have that constant agony replay in your head. You'll have that agony in your body. Because that stress can kill, honey. There's not anyone walking the face of this earth that is worthy of you no longer being on this earth. And that would be either it took you out because of an illness you developed due to these chaotic situations that you were put in, or you just offed yourself because you were just so fed up with life. Nothing and no one on this earth is worth you not being here anymore. Live for you. Find your happiness. Get hobbies. Find out who you are. Find out what you love. Find out what you don't like, and what you don't like about you or someone, remove it. If you found out that there's something in you that you don't like about yourself, a trait, fix it, tweak it. It's nothing wrong with tweaking what needs to be tweaked. A lot of people are afraid of change because being in a state of toxicity is complacent. They are complacent with being in a state of toxicity sometimes because, like I said, it's a familiar place. But toxicity doesn't feel good. Toxicity will lead you nowhere but into your demise. So, my final word for this episode here is love yourself. Love yourself before anyone on this earth. Love yourself more than you love your children. Love yourself more than you love your mate. Love yourself more than you love your job. Love yourself more than anything on this earth. Because if you don't have that love for yourself, how the hell are you going to administer it in a positive manner for someone else? And if you have children, be the example for your children that you want them to see. Because knowing it or not, we are examples for our children. We are the role models for our children. And if they see you being so scorned and tainted and wounded and hurt and feel like you're just beat down and defeated, they'll exhibit that same behaviors from children until adulthood. And I'm only speaking from experience because I had a deep, meaningful conversation with my 26-year-old the other day. And although I know that I'm not the best mom in the world, because let's be for real, none of us are perfect, I thought that I was doing pretty okay until she expressed the hurt that I have inflicted upon her and the hurt that she's seen me go through with other people, which also shaped and molded her into her relationships, her toxic relationships, which also, had her gravitate towards toxic relationships. And I apologize wholeheartedly. And even down to my son, she think I favors him because he's my youngest child. She think I favor him over her, and she said basically like she felt like she had a hard knock life and this and that. But I had to explain to her, listen, I had you when I was 17 years old, almost 18. I was still in my healing process. I haven't even begun healing yet. I was still going through, my toxic stages in life, as we all do. And so now, me being almost 44 years old soon, I've grown mentally. I've grown, I've grown as a parent. I do things differently. Yes, I am not perfect because I am a human being. But of course, the love that I administer out now to my kids looks quite different than the love that I was administering to her when I was only 17. Because I was a child myself, a scorned child, a hurt and abused child, a neglected child, a child who had to grow up not only because I was a mom now, but because I had to raise my brother at 12 because my mother was, partying and doing her. So this being that I am now is way totally different than what I was when I was who I was when I was 17. I just needed to apologize to her for all the pain that I have inflicted upon her then, and if it was currently, I had to apologize for that now and let her know that I'm a work in progress and I am here for her I am here for her healing as well as mine. So also another word of advice is, whoever you have done wrong in your life, apologize. Because sometimes people need that closure, and the closure can just come as a simple form of an apology. Or also closure can just come with leaving them the fuck alone. Cause I don't want that type of relationship where you ping pong in and out my life when you see that you need your fix of a Naisha. When you want someone to put a smile on your face, when you want someone to cater to your ego, when you want someone to fulfill your sexual desires. I don't want to just be that for someone. I want to be everything to the person that I am with. All things positive. I want to be that for the person that I am involved with. And I want that same thing in return. I don't want a combative relationship anymore. I can't take that again. And I'm no longer willing to accept that. So like I said earlier, yeah, I love this man wholeheartedly, but guess what? He wasn't loving me wholeheartedly. And I finally come to terms with that. I'll be okay. Just like you'll be okay. Anyone who has hurt you in your past, you'll be okay. As long as we are given another breath of life in our body, every day that God grants us another day of life, which is a blessing, realize that you can pick up the pieces and rebuild. You're not broken for life. Some people just feel so beat down and defeated that they feel like, it's the end all be all. They're broken and they're just going to stay that way. No, like I told you guys and many times before, yeah, we are broken, but we are not completely unbuildable. But pick up those pieces and rebuild. Yeah, you will see the scratches and the bruises and maybe the cracks or whatever because the glass was broken. But be the glue to put it back together. In conclusion, never let someone dictate your life. Never let someone make you feel less than. Always prioritize you and your well-being. You matter. And if no one has ever told you that before, allow me to be the first. You matter. You are important. You are special. And you are worthy of receiving healthy love. And the ultimate guide to receiving healthy love from others is making sure that you administer that same healthy love to self. The new year approaches, my babies. Make it great from here on out. I wish you nothing but prosperity and success and overall well-being. Take care, my babies. Until next time, you have tuned into Openly Expressive. I greatly appreciate it. And remember, always be openly expressive in everything that you do. Your voice matters. Bye.
Openly expressive, true. Sharing all that we've been through.